Hey guys, I'm Alan. Welcome to my new channel, The Book Garage. A little bit about me. I love fantasy novels. Fantasy, sci-fi, and more fantasy. That's what I'm all about. I started off reading Harry Potter for the first time when I was like, I think first grade, and that's where it all started. So J.K. Rowling, you did it. You done did it. I've read everything from Darren Shawn, Circuit of Freak. I got like his Demonata series in the back over here somewhere. But yeah, needless to say, I love fantasy, and I decided to make a community where I can share that all with all you guys. So the way I want to do my channel is I'm going to have like a monthly book haul, show you guys all the books that I got for that month, and kind of give like a quick insight of what I read about it, what I know about it. Obviously no spoilers because I'm not going to know anything. And then after that, I'm just going to go ahead and make videos on viewing the books that I read from that book haul, and then at the end of the month, I'm going to go ahead and make my favorite book of the month. And I'm going to keep that going on every month. It's going to be there, and I'm going to be really excited for it because I really like talk about it in detail, what I liked, what I didn't like, possibly spoilers. So I just really want to get a discussion going of what my favorite book of the month was. So I hope you guys will like it, and let's go ahead and get this month's book haul going. So the first book I want to talk about is BATTLEMAGE by Taran Matharu. Sorry if I totally butchered your name, but sorry. I have been following on this series for a good minute now. This is the third book of the Summoner series. The first book was The Novice. I read that about like 3 years ago, I want to say. It's been taking some time in between the series, but I absolutely love this series. It's a quick read. Starts off with a boy named Fletcher, who was basically as a baby was put in front of a blacksmith's house. Raised by this blacksmith who took care of him. It was a really small village. Everybody kind of works together to survive. Fletcher kind of grew up there. Mostly he was the hunter of the village. He went out and he got all the pelt for the pelters really to work on, help provide for himself, his dad, and make money wherever he could. This year in particular, a traveling warrior, merchant, soldier kind of guy, he stops by. He has this book. And now this book is super special for Fletcher's future. Kind of like The Ring for Frodo. Starts his adventure, everything gets going from the second he gets that book. And I don't want to go too much into detail. All you need to know is that it's the Summoner series, and this book allows him to summon something. I really hope you guys check it out. I absolutely love the book. It's the third installment, The BATTLEMAGE. Give it a try. I think you guys really like it. The second book I want to talk about is The Silver Mask by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. So this is actually the fourth book in the Magisterium series. I got this about 4 days early. It's supposed to come out on October 10th, and I was able to get it on October 6th. I absolutely couldn't believe that this book was out and I got it that early. So thanks for my local Barnes & Noble for helping me out. Am I right? Am I right? And this book follows Callum Hunt. Was born and raised as like a regular kid with his dad. Didn't really know about any magic before. His dad was kind of super secret. He later finds out that yes, he has magic. His dad doesn't want him to have anything to do with it. Like nothing at all. So the Iron Trial comes. Now this is the title of the first book. Any child of that age who has magical potential has to partake in the trial. And if they get picked by a master, they have to go to the Magisterium where they learn to use their magic. And if not, then they get their magic cut off, I guess. Not entirely sure how that works. They basically lose their magic and they forget about magic completely. So with Callum Hunt being the main character, you can safely assume that he makes it into the Magisterium. It's a great read, and I hope you guys take a look at it. The next book I want to talk about is Magnus Chase and the Ship of the Dead. Like Rick Riordan is one of my favorite authors. In this series, Magnus Chase actually meets up with Percy Jackson and for like a little training one-on-one time. Really cool actually how everything kind of ties in together within his world, even though they're completely different series. I absolutely love that. Magnus Chase starts off in Boston. He is like a complete orphan slash homeless. Like he has nobody to help him out. He's all by himself. Really kind of a tough position to be in. Rick definitely doesn't pull any of his punches in how crappy his life is. Definitely miserable, but he's definitely in a bad position. Now he has this uncle that has this huge mansion. He thinks his uncle's crazy. So to speed things up a little bit, he basically has to find this sword, and as he finds it, there's this fire demon god thing that comes up and kills him. Not resurrected, I want to say, but he is taken into Valhalla, which in Norse mythology is the place warriors go when they die in order to sit on the table with Odin and become the warriors to fight against the evils of Ragnarok, which is the end of the world. And that kind of ties in with what this book is about, because in this book, and it's all about stopping Ragnarok from Loki, the god of mischief, which is doing everything he can to bring it about. It's funny, it has romance, it's a decent sized book. I mean, there's a lot of content, and every time I put it down, I want to pick it right back up. I highly suggest you start with the Percy Jackson series and move your way up. The next book I want to talk about is FLAMECASTER from Cinda Williams Shima. Say that 3 times in a row. Trust me, I did. But this is the Shattered Realms series, and it takes place right after the Seven Realms series. So if for all of you guys who are familiar with the Seven Realms series, it picks right up after that. Parents grow up, they grow up and they have kids. They have 2 daughters, 1 son, and the son is a wizard who is aspiring to be a healer. That comes from his older sister having died. He now feels a little bit responsible, and he is focusing all his attention on being a healer. For all you guys who might think, oh, spoiler alert, it's really not that. It's like in the first couple pages. He meets up with his dad because he wants to go to not Odin's Forge for training, but prior to Odin's Forge because he's too young to get into school. Dad at first is a little bit skeptical, but he warms up to the idea. We're getting into like the spoiler line, and I don't want to get into it too much. Just know that son Ash will run away and start his adventure from there. Not wait to see what he does. I mean, his dad was Cuffs Alistair. For all you guys who read the Seven Realms series, you all know what he did, what kind of kid he's going to be, and what he's going to do. And is he going to be at the same magical level as his dad was? Now that he's all by himself, just like his dad was at the time, is he going to make the same decisions, or is he going to make different decisions? Super interesting. The next book I want to talk about, I haven't touched at all yet, and it's The Six of Crows from Lee Bardugo. Hopefully I said the name right. And it follows this character called Kaz, who is this well-known thief within his area. He is hired to kidnap this scientist who is currently in the ice court, and this is supposedly some super guarded area. Hard to get in, hard to get out kind of deal, and he thinks, well, I don't think I can do this by myself, and decides to recruit a bunch of team members. One of those team members, I think, is a demolitioner, and I'm sure he has a bunch of different people with different skills. I think this is going to be a really good read when it comes to like strategic stuff, adventuring with people that you don't really know. And I think this is really interesting because there's a lot of things that go on when you're like trying to accomplish a goal with a bunch of people that you don't really know that well. There could be trust issues, there could be romance in between the two, and if they break up, who knows what happens from there. I think that's what really intrigues me about this book. I'm definitely going to read it whenever I get a chance to. So the last 3 books I'm about to discuss, I just need a little bit of help from you guys to help me figure out what is the significance of the color red. The color red, like immediate success in the book industry. Like you just put red on the title or make a story about the color red and it just becomes a success, because the next 3 books are Red Rising, Red Sister, and we got Red Queen. They all have something to do with the color red, and I just can't figure it out. I've never picked up a bunch of different books from different authors, different everything. It's had similarities like this. It's kind of weird. Tell me the significance of the color red and how it affects book sales. Red in the title and you're good to go. You know what I mean? The Red Rising by Pierce Brown takes place 700 years after humanity first starts colonizing other planets, which to me is super interesting. So in this book, they have colonized Mars, subjugated, well not subjugated, but they have segregated humanity between colors. So you have red people who are like pretty low. I don't know like the full thing because I haven't read the book yet. You have red at the bottom, and then there's like violet, and gold is at the top. Get that, gold's at the top. And there's probably like different colors in between, I'm sure, but it kind of also indicates like what they do, I think. So the character we're following here is Darrow, and he is a miner on planet Mars, and he is considered a red human being. I don't know if that's like their physical color or if it's more like a white collar, blue collar kind of thing. I don't know. He seems to be okay with his life at the beginning. He has a wife at the age of 16, so I mean, props, sure, right? Am I right, guys? Am I right? But his wife actually makes a mistake in her job, I guess, and is taken by the authority. She is killed. This really isn't a spoiler, guys. I try my best not to put any spoilers in. I mean, I haven't read it and I know this, so I mean, how much of a spoiler could it be? He is then on this like vengeful spree, and he's like trying to kill like these gold people who had anything to do with it, and then they catch him, and then they try to go and kill him the way his wife died. Rebellion faction finds him, rescues him, and they do all these like body modifications and whatnot to make him a gold person, which I don't really understand, because if that's possible, then why doesn't everyone do that and get onto that level, you know? I feel like that would be something that would be a thing. Assuming he's going to be causing a lot of chaos, and he's probably going to get revenge for his murdered wife, and I think that's a great story. So the next book on our red list is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, and this follows the character Mare Barrow, who is a red faction person again. And the color red is like making all these books successful, but then like the color red in the books means that they're super low standing people because of that. I don't get it. Either way, so she is a red faction human being who is at the lower class because red faction people have no supernatural powers, whereas the silver class people actually have supernatural powers. So normally I'm not super into like the romance type of stuff, because that's what I kind of heard about this book when I first like looked into it a while back. But after I found out it actually had superpowers in it, I mean, I'm all about superpowers, am I right? Supernatural stuff is always something that I'm always going to read. I'm always interested in anything superpower, supernatural related. So I picked it up and I can't wait to get it started. So the last book of the haul is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. Luckily, the color red does not have any significant factors of the book, beginning at least. Her name is Donna, and she is on trial for murdering another person, presumably. They are trying to sentence her to death, which definitely is going to get like a big eye raiser on the audience, I feel, because how ridiculous is that you would murder an innocent child for killing another person? I mean, she's 8, she didn't know, and probably didn't do it. She gets saved by the Red Sister faction. I don't know if it's a faction or if it's just like this group or what, or like some underground mafia kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure. That's an assassin organization. So she will be training for the next 10 years of her life to become an assassin, which I find super ironic since she got in there possibly killing another person in the first place. I would really like to see if the job fits her, or if she maybe absolutely hates it and tries to get away from it at the end, but can't, and ends up doing a lot of good with her skills. But definitely something I want to read, definitely I find interesting, and I want to see what kind of impact she makes on the world with those sets of skills that she has. Or is she just going to be the average Joe assassin and just do her job and we follow her adventures as she goes? That's pretty much it for today, guys. I think I had a great time at the book haul. I got all these books with my sister Pam. We went to Barnes & Noble. You can see the video on her channel, Hemi Lux. We all went out there together and had a great time over at Barnes & Noble. For all of you guys who want to follow me on GOODREADS, to see what I'm reading at the time and follow my progress, to see what next video I'm going to be making, because as soon as I finish a book I'm going to be putting out a review, so hopefully you guys will check me out on there. If you guys like the video, go ahead and hit that like button, I would really appreciate it, and subscribe for further videos. With that, I'm out. Laters.